I'm Gary Nickerson,
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
and this is Outside My Window.
And with us today is Philippe Gaudet. Now, Philip, as a day job, is a chartered professional accountant with his own firm in Church Point. He's also a municipal counselor for the municipality of Clare, but he's also the president of the Atlantic Canada Championship Barbecue Society and a director for the Canadian Barbecue Society. He's traveled to Memphis, Tennessee to assist a team with the World Barbecue Championships, aka the Super Bowl of Swine. I love that. And he's also traveled to Niagara Falls to assist the same team participate in another barbecue contest. Philip, welcome. I know that COVID kind of kicked you in the shorts a little bit last year with the barbecue championships and your judging course and all the other stuff in between, but you guys are good to go for this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, we started playing in 2019, so we got 2 years that got postponed.
Wow, that's right too. Yes. So this is scheduled for this coming summer, or is it early or late spring, early summer?
Well, we got two events. At the last weekend in May, we're going to have a cooking class by a world famous pitmaster coming from the States, and he's also going to be preparing a supper that we'll be selling tickets for shortly. And then August 13th and 14th, we're going to have our the first sanctioned KCBS contest in Atlantic Canada.
Now, explain to us what the KCBS means.
So it's the Kansas City Barbecue Society. So it's a not-for-profit organization that be the world's largest barbecue sanctioning body.
And how many of those are there? I mean, I watch a lot of Food Network, but not everybody does.
Like how many different
Yeah,
sanctioning bodies?
how many different bodies are there?
Um, there's one in Georgia, Florida, Memphis, Kansas, and there might be some smaller ones. I'm not sure.
Now, is the KCBS one of the largest out of that group?
It'd be the largest, and they'd have all the other ones aren't international. This society has a international board of directors that they try to grow it internationally.
Now, when you say international, is that basically North America? Is barbecue popular elsewhere?
The people I'm working with traveled to Brazil. They were going to go to Lithuania, but the current landscape over there, they just postponed that trip. I think they travel all over.
Wow. I mean, certainly when you think of barbecue, you don't think of those countries.
Yeah, I mean they went to Costa Rica quite a few times, Mexico. Yeah, they travel. Yeah, everywhere.
Now, back in 2019, you were also planning on a judges course, because that's certainly what I'm interested in understanding some of the intricate details of barbecue other than watching them cook it on TV. So can you talk a little bit about how that's going to go?
We're still finalizing those details, but we believe the judging class is going to be the Saturday before the competition in August, like around the 13th, I think. So it's going to be, half of it's going to be in the classroom, I guess, and then the other half you'll be actually tasting food and learning how to score the food presented.
I was looking, Philip, at some of the photos that you had posted from last year's event in September, and a lot of smiles, a lot of laughs. But you folks take your barbecuing very seriously, don't you?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, we take it serious, but if anybody ever needs a hand, we're always willing to help. It's the friendliest, serious competition I've ever been part of.
So take us back. How did you get involved with barbecue to start with at this level?
Well, there was a TLC show called Barbecue Pitmasters, and we were watching it. And then one day we said, it'd be fun to go to one of those competitions. So me and my dad and a friend of ours, we flew to Memphis, joined up a team from Ontario, and then we got tackled there by KCBS saying, they've never been to Nova Scotia and they'd love to come here. And that's kind of how the ball got rolling here.
Do you build your own smokers and barbecues, or is it stuff that you're buying commercially?
It's a mix. I personally I buy commercial smokers, but you'll see a lot of custom smokers at the competitions.
At the risk of jumping out on a limb, which is better?
I wouldn't say one's better than the other. I'm not too good with tools and welding and stuff, so I kind of have to buy commercial, I guess.
In watching barbecue on TV, there's different styles of barbecue. There's certainly Kansas City and Texas and so on. Can you just kind of walk us through the different, more popular styles of barbecue and what they represent?
Kansas City and Memphis are quite similar, where they're both like your red sauce, tomato-y, or in ketchup. I mean, they have a little bit of a difference in taste, but Memphis would probably have a little bit more heat. Texas would be basically no sauce, salt and pepper, and good old smoke. And then Carolina would be, depending where you are in the Carolinas, you'd either find a mustard base or vinegar base sauces.
And is there a Canadian quote unquote version of all of this?
It'd be just pretty much the same as in the States.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more maple, but yeah, it'd be pretty similar.
Well, if you're gonna do Canadian barbecue, you got to add maple syrup, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So for an event this size, Philip, you need a few things. Certainly, participants, which you've never had a problem with, and volunteers, and sponsors. So how has that been, and how does it look for the event coming up this year?
We haven't really started the volunteer drive yet, but we're always looking for more volunteers. We can be reached at on Facebook at the Atlantic BBQ Championship Society. But for fundraising, we're going to be selling tickets on a smoker shortly, and then the other fundraiser we're going to do is the VIP supper with the pitmaster from coming down from the States. So we're really looking forward to having a next level barbecue, 3-course meal.
You got to figure that's going to sell out pretty quick.
Yeah, we think so. We're only going to be selling, I think, around 125 tickets, so it should sell pretty quick. And then we're going to be selling about 500 tickets for the smoker, so $10 a ticket. So, we're hoping there's going to be a lot of interest, and hopefully we'll start selling those before Father's Day.
And how much interest have you gotten so far? I'm sure there's been lots of people reaching out, given the fact that you guys have been a bit on the back burner, no pun intended, for the last couple of years.
It's been pretty good. We've had new teams reach out. They're a team from PI, so that was good to see. I've been talking to a team from Boston who's a world champion, so hopefully he'll come down. We definitely want to compete against the best.
Well, and I mean, the ferry boat's looking to be back in service. Is that going to really help you?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I don't know what they're allowed to bring. Like, are you allowed to bring a trailer on the ferry?
I believe a small trailer they should be able to bring on the ferry. I'm not 100% sure. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, I'm not quite sure of the logistics right now, but we should probably reach out to Bay Ferries and see if there's anything they can do to help us out.
Yeah, that might be a good idea for sure. How many participants are you looking to attract into this year's event?
So this year's event, we're hoping for 20 to 25 teams. We need 10 to qualify for the big competitions in the States, but we shouldn't have a problem getting the 10 teams.
How are the teams put together? Like, is there a minimum number of people? Do each person have a certain set of duties? Can you kind of talk us through that?
Yeah, it depends on the team. Like, one of the guys that's coming down from Ontario tends to compete by himself. My team, we were 5, but we kind of we'll divide each protein, and I guess I was kind of in charge of timelines and recipes and all that. So it all depends on how you want to make up the team, and if somebody has better knife skills, then maybe they'll do the final preparation for the turn-in boxes.
So explain to us how the judging's going to go.
So there's going to be basically the judges don't taste everybody's food. So it's a scoring system. So the team that won doesn't. Not every judge is going to get to try their product.
Yeah, because if there was 25 teams, I mean, you're you're going to be awful full by the time it's done.
Exactly, and it's based on one bite tasting. So we, as a competitor, are going to try to put as much flavor as you can in each bite, and then the judges are going to judge you based on tenderness, appearance, and tenderness, taste, and appearance. Yeah. So if your ribs are fall off the bone, you're actually going to get deducted points because they're going to be considered overcooked.
So with the point setup, is it weighted? Like, is it an even number of points across the three categories?
So the max, I don't know why they came up with this scoring system, but the scoring system goes from 2 to 9. In each category, you can get a maximum of 9, but the points aren't weighted the same. Taste is number one, and then I think appearance is weighted the least.
I mean, obviously, if you're stuffing it into a box, it's not like a restaurant plate kind of affair like you see on some of the cooking shows.
Yeah, exactly, because it's quite strict on the rules as well for appearance, like which garnishes you're allowed to put in the box, and you can't put like a sauce container on the side and stuff like that.
So is there a minimum amount of food that you have to prepare in order to get to the point where you can submit a judge box?
Yeah, each category has to have a minimum of 6 pieces, because you're going to have 6 judges tasting your food.
So if you're cooking, are you cooking just enough to make the 6 boxes? Or are you're cooking a little bit more just in case something takes a walk in the park?
Chicken, I'll probably cook 16 pieces and only turn in the best 6.
Gotcha. And that sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, is there going to be a public component to the competition this year?
Yeah, I think we learned a bit from last year, where we kind of jammed everything in one day, and it just spread some of us a little too thin. So this year, we're going to have the competition on the Sunday, and we're going to be selling food again on the Saturday.
Have you found that through events like the Atlantic BBQ Challenge that perhaps you've engaged more people to maybe up their skills when it comes to barbecuing different foods? Have some people approached you?
No, nobody's really approached us to do be like a vendor on site, or what do you mean?
Like from a personal standpoint, has people been inspired by this to up their barbecue game?
It's a good question. I mean, the team that actually finished second place last year was a rookie team that were basically cooking a lot of this stuff for the first time. So I think they got really excited about the whole competition, and I know they've all bought new smokers and they're ready to go for next year. I mean, I haven't heard too much, from the public tasting. I mean, we awarded prizes for the top 5 teams in each category last year, so a lot of the teams did get a top 5 in something. So I think even the teams that were just there for fun got a lot more a lot of motivation out of the contest.
Is there a People's Choice category in this as well?
That's something we need to look with the Department of Food and Safety to see, if we're going to be allowed to do that. Because ideally, the Saturday, I'd love to have a People's Choice, just to get, public input into the weekend.
So if you sign up and participate in the judges class,
Yeah,
does that get you to be a judge for the weekend? Is that the end goal?
that's the end goal. Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, that's good. So how many participants are you looking to take in for that?
I mean, I don't know if there's a limit on how many we can take, but we're going to need at least 20 judges. So hopefully we can get 20 people to take the class.
I would like to think that you're going to do well with that one. What's going to be next? I mean, certainly if this goes well this year, and COVID stays where it belongs, what do you see for years down the road? Next year, so on. What are you hoping to accomplish with all of this?
Well, locally, there's a lot of interest as well from judges from all over the world that want to, vacation in Nova Scotia. So I'd love to see the tourism boost from this event, and hopefully develop and get new teams out of it. Once people come get food and see all these RVs set up on, and everybody having fun. And but the other thing I'm hoping is it'll start maybe some other locations in Atlantic Canada to start having their own contest, and then maybe getting a bit of a challenge going.
So are you and the other participants in these types of events and competition, are you one of those people that barbecue 12 months of the year? I mean, do you haul your barbecue load in the middle of a storm in the garage and get her going and perhaps try a new recipe?
Yeah, I barbecue year round there, depending on how busy I am. Like this time of year, I just don't have the time. But once tax season slows down, I'll get going again. I'll be going to the World Barbecue Championship in Memphis the second week of May, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Gas or barbecue, or is it a personal preference?
I don't have a gas barbecue at my house.
Do you find briquettes are better than propane? Are you able to go out on a limb and state your preference?
Oh, charcoal's better all day.
And do you find that the quality of product locally there? Like, I mean, I know people go on and on and on about the big green egg and stuff like that, but I mean, realistically, for the average person trying to do, barbecue for their family, do you think there's quality equipment to be available locally to have?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I see more and more charcoal, at all the big supermarket stores and stuff. And there's a store at Ye Old Stove Shop. They have excellent rubs and sauces there, as well as different pellet barbecues and charcoal, and they have green eggs and stuff there as well. And Home Depot, they have some nice Weber charcoals that have free shipping. So there's lots of options.
And what about the wood pellet barbecues? I kind of forgot about those for a second. Are those really something that your more experienced barbecuer, if that's a word, is going to get into? Like, do they have a place?
They have a place because you don't have to be. I mean, you always have to keep an eye on it because it is a live fire. But you can kind of set it and forget it a bit more. You don't have to worry about. Well, I guess you got to keep an eye on the hopper to make sure there's still lots of pellets, but it does a good job. I mean, I don't find it gives as much of a taste as charcoal, but it's just a lot easier.
So at the end of all of this, Philip, what are you hoping the takeaways are for the participants from this year's event?
I just hope they have a really fun time and enjoy my passion with me. And then hopefully, they'll get motivated to practice, and hopefully we can one day challenge, the teams out of the States.
So when you're talking to your fellow pro barbecuers, if you will, do you folks kind of experiment maybe through the year, try a different kind of perhaps method of barbecuing or a different recipe?
Yeah, I try different sauces all the time, and I combine sauces, try to get the perfect amount of heat with the something that's not too sweet, that's savory. I mean, practice is it's like any other competition. It's just as important.
So who's your taste testers?
Uh, they're not that hard to find.
I wouldn't think there are, especially if you're barbecuing in the middle of winter, because that's certainly when people think that it's not there, but it's really good that it is.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and I guess the other thing is they also I forgot one more sanctioning body. There's also a state governing body that it might be fun one day to do as well. You can have a steak challenge. So it's tough to beat a good steak.
Yeah, no, for sure, and the different types of meats that are part of the competition. Is it chicken and ribs? Is that kind of it, or are there other things that you're looking for?
So we're a four meat challenge. So chicken, you can turn in any part of the chicken, but you have to have six pieces, and you wouldn't be able to put like three dark and three white meat. It'd have to be, if you're doing thighs, then it has to be all thighs, or if you're doing wings, then it has to be all wings, or you'd have to have six wings and six thighs, kind of thing. And then the ribs, maybe pork ribs, but you have the choice between the different, if you want St. Louis style or if you want baby back. Then pork shoulder, and then brisket.
So just to wrap up, again, if anybody's looking for more information, where's the best place to find you?
Facebook would be the best place.
And if anybody's looking to volunteer, same thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. So just recap again when the events are scheduled.
Yeah, so the last weekend in May, we're going to have a barbecue cooking class where we're going to be going over the four competition meats. And then we're also going to be having a VIP supper that weekend as well that we'll be selling tickets. And then August 13th and 14th, we're going to have a judging class as well as the first sanctioned competition in Atlantic Canada.
So let's again remind folks about the dates for these two events coming up, May 27th to 29th. That's the barbecue cooking and judging class in Comeauville, Nova Scotia, and the KCBS sanctioned event August 13th and 14th, Metegan River. And that event, by the way, in Soniaville, is going to be held at the Knights Columbus. It's always a pleasure talking with you, Philip. Thanks so much, and best of luck on these events and all the future ones as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're going to be there for sure. Gary's already salivating, and he's got his bib on. He's all set and ready to go. Thanks again, Philip.
Thank you. I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this has been Outside My Window.